Hey, Dan Cucimillo along with Bora for NorCal Sports Network with a video on can the New York Mets, Steve Cohen's money-making team, can Steve Cohen and the Mets overtake the LA Dodgers? Before we get into that, let us thank our sponsor, Chapman Law Group. If you have any legal issues you need help with, check out the link in the description or give them a call. It's 415-613-9483 and tell them NorCal Sports Network sent you. We're also sponsored by Betr, BETR. Up there in the right-hand corner, you see top right-hand corner, Betr, the official daily fantasy sponsor of NorCal Sports Network. Click on the link in the description or download the app and use the promo code NCSN for a deposit match up to $250. That's a lot of money, plus a free pick. So go join Betr right now. Thanks for that. And Bora, we get into this. This is an interesting topic because everybody's talking about the LA Dodgers this year. Right now, it's like every day there's a new signing. You know, yesterday it was Kirby Yates. A couple days before that, it was Tanner Scott. And then, of course, it was Roki Sasaki just before that. And if you go on, it was Teoscar Hernandez and Blake Snell, Michael Conforto, Tommy Edmonds re-signing, and like you mentioned, Hernandez. I don't know. I'm probably missing somebody, but they seem to just be making a monster. They're like hell-bent on, you know what? We're going to make this team as bulletproof as possible. We're going to have 26 men on this roster, and our worst player is going to be some team's best player. That's kind of the way. Serious. So we're thinking, who can overtake the Dodgers? Now, we'll get to a different video when we do our National League West. And well, we did that earlier actually today, National League West. But of course, the Diamondbacks, you never know, in a series could take out the Dodgers in a short playoff series. They did it in 23, with their pitching. But we're more specifically today, we're going to talk about the New York Mets. What's your take on the Mets? You've done a little bit of research. You've got their players they've signed in the offseason. Tell us what you think, and can they overtake the Dodgers?
Yeah, so they obviously signed Juan Soto, 15 years, $765 million. They signed Clay Holmes, 3 years, $38 million, and he's, by all assumptions, he's going to be tried out as a starter, similar to what the Giants did with Jordan Hicks last year. They re-signed Sean Manaea, who was pretty good for them, 3 years, $75 million, and they re-signed Jesse Winker, 1 year, $7.5 million. So they haven't done nothing like the Padres. They've made some moves. That Juan Soto contract, that's obviously the main move. I don't know if anybody can take down the Dodgers, but in the playoffs, anything is possible. I mean, we saw it. The Dodgers were down 2-1 to the Padres, and the Padres home turf, and the Dodgers came out on top. Anything postseason baseball is different. Anything can happen in a 5-7 game series. So is it possible that the Mets can take down the Dodgers? Of course. And I don't know right now. The Mets won 89 games last year. They were the third wild card spot. The National League is tough, and that NL East division is tough. You got the Phillies, you got the Braves, you got the Mets, of course, and then you got the Nationals, who are kind of sneaking up on them, in the division, I should say. So I mean, it's gonna be a struggle for the Mets to win the division. First of all, that's gonna be a battle. To get in the wild card as well. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of teams. I mean, the Reds have gotten better. The Cubs have gotten better. The D-backs have gotten better. Remember the Mets, I think beat out they had the same record as the D-backs, and it was some tiebreaker that got them over it.
Last year, the Mets, you see their record on the left there, 89-73 with the Braves, and the D-backs were also 89-73, but the Mets got the tiebreaker. So, and then you see the win projections there for the National League East teams. I mean, we'll just cut out the Marlins here. Let's not worry about them. But Phillies, Braves, Mets they're expecting a pretty tight battle.
Definitely.
again.
It's gonna be it's that NL East is a tough division, and I mean, like I said, anything can happen to the playoffs, but you got to be able to get in the playoffs first. And Juan Soto's gonna help definitely. No one's saying that's not gonna help. I think it's possible. I mean, like I said, postseason baseball is just different. And you know what? I don't think the Mets are done in this offseason. There's still Pete Alonso. There's Alex Bregman, and there's who we're going to talk about probably next, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who the Mets have been reported, or it's been reported that the Mets have been trying or looking to trade for Vladimir Guerrero. So there's some moves out there to be had. I don't know what their third base and first base situation is right now on MLB's website. It has Mark Vientos as the first baseman and the third baseman. So I'm assuming if they sign Pete Alonso or if they sign Vladimir Guerrero or if they trade for Vladimir Guerrero, Mark Vientos would be the third baseman. If they don't sign either Pete Alonso or trade for Vladimir Guerrero and they sign Alex Bregman or they don't do anything, I'm assuming Mark Vientos is going to be the first baseman. So there's a lot of
Right.
moving pieces
I
here.
mean, I look at Vientos here. He looks pretty talented. He can play both, I think, at the same time.
Who
What do you
knows?
think?
Yeah.
No, I think they got Brett Beatty, and then they got Cunha's brother here. How do you
Luis
pronounce it?
Angel. Luis
Luis
Angel.
Angel. Yeah. Luis Angel right here. Luis Angel, he could play third. You see Brett Beatty there, third base. So those are the two options. If they don't sign anybody else, Vientos will be definitely over at first base. I do think this Guerrero thing, though, you brought up is very interesting to me because let me just and let's take a look at their pitching real quick before we get into that, because I forgot Paul Blackburn wasn't too bad a few years ago with the A's. And then you've got, you mentioned Clay Holmes will be a starter. Mania, Tyler McGill wasn't too bad last year. They did sign Frankie Montas. That's another one we forgot.
And Kodai Senga's coming back too.
Oh, that's right. Kodai Senga is coming back. He was not healthy last year. So if you got a healthy Senga, you get Montos that stays healthy, and then you get something out of Mania. And, I guess you're looking at probably Mania and Senga as your top two guys, right?
I think
There.
so, yeah. And
Okay.
then Montas is probably your 3. Clay Holmes is probably your 4, and it's David Peterson or Paul Blackburn as your 5.
Yeah. And I think they might, wouldn't shock me if they tried to get Flaherty. And I mean, Cohn's got the money, okay? I don't think the issue is like he's trying to worry. He's already over the luxury tax. He doesn't care. So at this point, when he's watched what the Dodgers have done, he may just say, you know what? I'm going to go out and make a trade, and I am going to try and get in Alonso. I mean, not Alonso, but Vladdy Guerrero. The thing that I like about the connection there with Guerrero is both Vladdy is Dominican as well as Juan Soto. You put those guys back to back, and you get Guerrero in a trade, and he's a free agent. I think you can sweet talk him into, the contract. Could probably get his 12 years, 500 million right there from, and he doesn't have to go hit the free agency, and he can just enjoy playing in New York. And
I think he would enjoy playing in New York. I don't know what he thinks, obviously, or what he feels, but I would imagine he's a big time player. I would imagine he lives for the big time moment, and nothing is bigger than New York.
Right. So you put him at first base, and he's had a monster year last year. So there's that option. Also, if they want to just go, if they can't get Vladdy in a trade and they can't re-sign Alonso, and they wanted to add a bat with pop and a third baseman, they can go get Alex Bregman.
Yeah, Alex Bregman, Gold Glove defender. He's I think 260 last year. He doesn't strike out much. He's a valuable piece and a valuable asset to any team that would add him. I don't understand why he hasn't signed yet. I don't get it.
Yeah. I got a feeling that Bregman could end up with the Mets or a Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Also, the pitching we mentioned, they could end up with a Flaherty. I don't know where they're looking at this point, but I don't think the Mets are done. And you don't go spend roughly $800 million on one player. Granted, it's over 15 years, it's spread out, but you're pointing to that fact that you are looking to win, and you're getting one of the game's top players, a future Hall of Famer, and you're saying we're ready to win. And you're watching what the Dodgers are doing, and you say, you know what, we need to add. So I look for the Mets to do something. And hey,
Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, guys, by the way, forgot to mention this at the beginning. Give this video a like and subscribe if you would. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Give it a like. Turn on the notifications bell if you subscribe. And when we go on with a video or we go live, you'll get notified. Would really appreciate it. It does help the channel. Thanks so much. All right. Go ahead, Bora.
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback off what you said. I mean, Soto, Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea, Jesse Winker, those are 4 pretty good pieces to a major league roster. You don't do that and see what the Dodgers are doing and just stop. And Steve Cohen isn't the type of guy to just stop
Right.
adding. He's the type of guy to go all in and just try to take down the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are the villain of the league.
Right.
Everybody's looking up to the Dodgers and everybody's wanting to take down the Dodgers. And Steve Cohen, aside from the Dodgers, is probably one of the only owners that is willing to spend money and put his pockets, or put his, I don't know the phrase, but put
Money where
money.
his mouth is. Yeah.
Exactly. Put his money where
Yeah.
his mouth is and actually spend the money to be able to try to take
Well,
down the Dodgers.
he spent over $400 million recently in a season, and with luxury tax and all that. Look, the Dodgers took him out. That's the last game the Mets played last year, was in the championship series, and they lost 4-2 to the Dodgers. So you've got to figure, hey, look, the Dodgers have gotten much, much better this offseason, and the Mets have gotten maybe a little better with the Soto, but they've lost Alonso, it looks like. So who are they going to replace that with? They also lost Severino to the A's, and I don't know if they had any other pitching that they lost, but Severino stands out. But they did bring in Montas, re-sign Manaea, as mentioned. So, and then of course Kodai Senga is coming back. So we'll see where this works out. I mean, if you're asking either one of us, yes, the answer is yes. The Mets can take out the Dodgers if they meet in the playoffs, because anything's possible in a 5 or 7 game series. It just is. It happens all the time in baseball, where we see the team that didn't have the best record in the regular season get knocked off. Look, we saw just 2 years ago the Arizona Diamondbacks with 84 wins knock out the 100+ win LA Dodgers in 23. Why? Because the Dodgers were hurting. Their pitching was brutal, and Arizona's bats showed up, and they just knocked the Dodgers all over the ball field. I mean, Kershaw got rocked. I mean, it was just a bad series for the Dodgers and a great one for the Diamondbacks. So it can happen. And, you know, the other thing I'll say about the Dodgers before we close, a lot of these guys, Bora, coming back. Yamamoto's coming off injury. Ohtani's hasn't pitched for a while. He's coming off injury. Blake Snell, great pitcher, doesn't always start off well. Great second half finisher. Tyler Glasnow, injury. Dustin May, injuries. I think he's had 2 Tommy Johns. Kershaw, shoulder. He's not going to be available right away. A lot of question marks. Who else did I miss? Gonsolin, injuries, right?
And the biggest question mark of all, Roki Sasaki.
Oroki Sasaki, yes. How can I forget him? We've done a video or 2 on him, I think.
Just a few.
But there's a lot of question marks there in the fact that none of these guys have been fully healthy. So we'll see. And I think the Dodgers are wise to have 7, 8, 9 starting pitchers because they seems like you need them in a season. I don't know what it is, but pitchers, when I grew up watching baseball, there was 4-man rotations and rarely did guys miss starts. They'd start close to 40 games a season. Just 4 guys. And nowadays, guys can't make it through May before they're injured. So happens too much. So we'll see. But anything else you got to add on this one, Bora?
I'm all good. I think I
All right.
said what I needed to say. I said my piece.
All right, very good. So we said it right here, NorCal Sports Network. We think the Dodgers can be taken out by the Mets. Other teams could do it too, but the Mets could be the team to take out the Dodgers. Would I bet on it? No. But
It's
I'm just
possible.
saying it's a possibility. So, guys, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you give it a like and subscribe. Make some comments below. We read the comments. We try to respond to as many as possible. Again, thanks for watching this video, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care.